With polynomials, we can do a lot of things that we do with just real numbers. And one of those things is dividing. And we have this thing called the division algorithm for polynomials, and it actually works pretty much the same way that it does for real numbers. So here's the statement of the division algorithm. This first one is perhaps less familiar, but the second one will be more familiar. We've got a polynomial p of x and another polynomial d of x, and d of x is what we're going to call our divisor. So this here is the divisor. So that's like what we're dividing by, and so that means that it's not going to be 0. And then there exist two unique polynomials, this q of x, which is the quotient, and r of x, this is the remainder. Such that, and then we've got this statement here, we can write a polynomial as the divisor times the quotient plus a remainder. Now, this is not how we're used to thinking about division because, well, there's no division showing up here. However, we do have this second case, and this is what we're used to. Now, there's a couple of things to notice here. If we just take this first equation and divide it by d of x on both sides, by the divisor, then we end up with this second form. So they are equivalent since d of x is not equal to 0. The other thing that's important to note is this condition right here, and that's that the degree of the remainder has to be less than the degree of the divisor. Okay, that's the only time that we know that we will have unique quotient and remainder in this case. Now, this is exactly what we've done with real numbers. If we look at, say, 5, or let's do 7 divided by 2. Okay, we can write this as the quotient here. So 7 divided by 2, how many times does 2 go into 7? Well, it goes in 3 times, but we're left with a remainder, right? And we can write that remainder in a couple ways. I'm going to write it as a plus, and then there's a remainder of 1. After 2 goes into 7 3 times, there's a remainder of 1. So I write it as 1, and then over that original divisor 2. Now, these, with real numbers, we actually write these as what we call mixed numbers, where we write it as just 3.5. Okay, we just kind of condense down and don't write the plus sign. But it's the same thing. We've got the quotient, the remainder, and the divisor in there. And it works the same way with polynomials. We're going to find out how we can find that quotient and that remainder, and then we'll write the division in this form.